Hey guys, I have had this Black Widow motorcycle carrier for quite some time, and it works really well with the TW200. However, I do put a strap on the back tire just to keep it from coming out of there, but the front tire sits in there pretty nicely. However, the biggest problem with this thing is that you cannot see my taillights whatsoever. I'm not as worried about the license plate. I'm more worried about people not seeing my taillights or brake lights and running into the back of me. And I've started doing a lot of traveling, bringing the bike with me, so we really need to get some lights on here. I just grabbed some LED trailer lights on Amazon, and these have the 3-wire, so ground, high, and low. So that would be the turn signal, brake light, and tail light. And of course, I'll leave links to everything down in the description below. Then I just got some self-tapping screws, and I also got a few little aluminum spacers, and I got this 3-pin wire with a jacket that holds it all together just to make it nice and organized. And you can see the wire gauge is definitely bigger than the actual taillights, so we're good there. And I also got these cushioned cable clamps, and I have a little tester, and I got the 4-pin trailer wire that I'm going to be cutting up. But I just wanted to make sure the trailer stuff on this 4Runner works, just because I've never used it. If you know yours works, then you probably don't have to do this, but just plug it in and key is on. We'll turn the headlights on. That's the tail lights, and then brake lights. Those work. Right turn signal and left turn signal. So it looks like everything works. And these probably aren't like the perfect screws to put in here. Kind of don't recess like they're supposed to, but it'll still work. And I have really no reason to pull these little pins out. And if you ever did have to take them out, you can always just remove the little lights. And that should be good as far as mounting. Pretty close to that little bolt, but should be all right. Worst case scenario, if I break these, I can always weld some brackets on here, make it a lot better. Next, I'll just kind of mark where the wires need to go, and then we'll drill a hole. And then I'll run this 3-pin wire through the hole. I was able to get it from there to there, so that way I don't have to worry about the wire getting snagged on the ratchet strap around my tire. Okay, so it's light again, and I actually just installed one of these little wire holder clamps, and I got some wire loom just to keep it from rubbing on the edge there. And I've got plenty of room still with the ramp. Might hit the little wire clamp, but the wire should be fine. And this wire is a little bit small for these wire clamps, so I'll just take a little bit of this wire loom, cut it, stick it on here, and then use a self-tapping screw. And then I'll do a few more and then have the wire go underneath towards the front. Okay, so I got the right side installed, wire clamps, and I got the wiring run for the other side as well. I'm gonna show you guys how to hook that up and install it. And then I just have the wires go down here. And I got some electrical tape and zip ties, just holding everything. And then I have them all ready to wire up with the connector. Anyways, I'll show you how I wired this up. And this isn't gonna be like a super detailed video on how to crimp and stuff like that. But if you guys want a more detailed video on how to connect wires properly, be sure to leave me a comment down below, and maybe I'll do that on my other channel. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and cut these wires a little bit shorter, and I'm gonna stagger them. So there's the white one. I'm gonna put the red one up a little higher. And then the black one up even higher. And that way you don't have a big like fat part in the wiring, and we can shove everything back through this hole. But now we have to separate all the 3 wires from the main case. And I like to take a razor blade just at the start, go a little deep. All right, there we go, got it started. Begin to pull the wires out, and then once I get to this point, I'll go ahead and score it, but not cut all the way through. As far as you want to pull them out, and then you just yank on them, it just goes through that score mark. And then I'll cut the shielding off, and you can see the light is red, black, and white. These wires are red, black, and yellow, and I'll just put the yellow to white, and that makes the most sense. But we'll go ahead and match these wires up and just cut it. The black one's right about there. So that way they're all kind of staggered together. And then I'll go ahead and strip all the wires with my automatic Klein wire strippers. I like these quite a bit. And we could twist them together. And I got these tiny little crimps. And I'll go ahead and crimp them onto the light side here. Make sure to give them a nice tug. I absolutely love these Klein wire crimpers. And we got all the crimps on the light. Then I cut 3 small adhesive line heat shrinks, and make sure to install these before crimping them on. And then go ahead and crimp them on. And I'll just let them hang like that. Make sure we got a good crimp. Give them all a nice little tug. I have very good luck with those Klein crimpers. And then I'll slide the heat shrink in the center of each one. Then I'll just use a little lighter. And fortunately it's not windy out here. And I'll just do one at a time so I don't melt the wires. And with the adhesive lined heat shrink, you want to keep heating it until the goo comes out the sides. And it'll be like completely waterproof. All right, got a little breezy all of a sudden, so I'll just use my portable heat gun here. Then I'll just cover these up with some electrical tape. Then I got a little piece of wire loom, try to throw around here. And this is just to kind of protect the wiring on the metal edge of the hole. But now I'll just shove the wiring in and install the light. And the pre-drilled hole's already made. And I'll just make sure it's snugged up by hand. You don't need it super tight, because you don't want to strip those holes out. All right, both lights are installed. All right, so I got it all hooked up with crimps and heat shrink, and I kind of just cut it where I needed it. And it just kind of gets repetitive to show crimping and heat shrink over and over again. But white is the ground, and that goes to the yellow, because we use that as our white. And then brown goes to the black, and that is just the regular tail lights. And you can see it's going to both blacks for each side. That's just the low. And then the high for the right, that would be the turn signal and the brake lights, is green. And that just goes to the red for the right side. And then yellow is the left side, brake light and turn signal. But before we wrap it all up and attach it, let's go ahead and test it out. All right, turn the vehicle on, turn the lights on, tail light should be on. And it'll do right blinker, and then left blinker, and then brake lights. Okay, so I put some electrical tape and wire loom on here, and then I just used some metal zip ties. Just because I didn't want to drill into this. This is like the main load carrying bit right there. It's plugged in, but we should be good to go. So at night, this is what it looked like before, and this is what it looks like after. Much better. Definitely makes me feel a lot more comfortable driving around with the bike on the back. But anyways, guys, I hope this video was useful. And if you have any questions, or if you want to check out all the stuff that I used to do this, be sure to go down below. But anyways, I will catch you next time. Peace out.